There was a time when miners carried canaries into coal mines, not because they loved them, but because they needed them. The canary would warn them when the environment had become deadly. And when the canary died, it was time to listen. This is Bombshell with Melissa Schuling Smith. The canary is dead. Sometimes it's our bodies. That feeling you brush off, the tightness, the fatigue, the pain you tell yourself is not a big deal. Sometimes it's a relationship, that moment where something feels off, where you know something isn't right, but it's easier to ignore it, not to rock the boat. Sometimes it's that voice in our head, the one that tells you, this isn't working. And instead of listening, you adjust, you accommodate, you silence the voice, you push it down, and you keep going. Nothing happens at first, and that's what makes it so easy to ignore. But it shows up later, in ways you did not imagine or plan for, in ways that take more from you than you thought possible. A small thing becomes a bigger thing. Something manageable becomes something that has to be dealt with. And now it's no longer our choice or our time frame. I did this to myself. I ignored something small until it became something I could no longer ignore. It just felt easier to keep going than to stop and deal with it. That is the pattern. We tell ourselves, I'll handle it later. When we have more time, more energy, more money, when things calm down, when life is more settled. But later has a way of getting more complicated, not less. Because the longer you ignore something, the louder it has to get your attention. A broken tooth becomes an abscess, becomes a swollen face, becomes a numb face. The canaries are still here. The signals are still here. We've just tuned them out because listening would require action. And doing something means disrupting the life we have learned to manage. This is not just a personal Achilles heel. It's a collective one. We see the signs in our systems, in our leadership, in the way people are treated, in every aspect of life. We tell ourselves, it's not that bad. This probably was just my experience. Someone else will deal with it. It will correct itself. But often, it does not correct itself. It compounds itself. Ignoring something doesn't make it disappear. It gives it time. Time to spread like an illness. Not every problem has an easy solution, but every problem has a solution. It's taking the time, putting in the effort, and accepting that the unknown is exactly that, unknown. The only thing we can be certain of is that life won't get better unless changes are made, warnings are listened to. When somebody shows you who they are, pay attention. When your body tells you something's wrong, listen. When your gut instinct is to go in the other direction, do it. This is the greatest nation on the planet. We didn't get here by ignoring the warning signs. We got here by listening to them, by making the choices needed to succeed, even if those choices are inconvenient, difficult, scary, and overwhelming. So what are you choosing to ignore? What do you know is wrong? But think it will resolve itself. What keeps you up at night that seems too arduous a task to ever be fixed? The poor canaries lost their lives to save ours. Who's dying today because we chose not to listen? This is Bombshell with Melissa Schuling Smith. It's time to listen.